AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm your host, Jennifer. I want to welcome you back to my spirit parlor. So settle in, get comfortable, and go ahead and light a candle if that feels right. Tonight, I want to talk about something I'm incredibly passionate about, or opinionated anyway. Not that anything else I share on the podcast doesn't fall into that category, but tonight I want to talk about something a little convoluted to downright manipulated in spiritual spaces, the topic of protection. Because, and I want to say this first, protection isn't about fear. It's not about hiding. It shouldn't be about building energetic walls so thick that nothing can touch you. Have you thought about that? It's confusing. Why are we so vocal about shielding ourselves while at the same time saying it's all connected and we should expand and blend with the universe? That doesn't make sense. That just doesn't make sense to me. So let's shift to a different way of being. Real spiritual protection is about strengthening your center. It's about tending your inner flame so that it doesn't flicker every time the world gets loud, skeptical, or heavy. If you're sensitive, intuitive, empathetic, if you feel deeply or perceive more than most, then this episode is for you. Let's reframe protection. There's this idea that spirituality is fragile, that if we're open, we're vulnerable, that if we feel deeply, we must constantly shield ourselves. But I don't believe that. I believe spirituality is ancient. I believe your intuition has survived lifetimes. And I believe protection works best when it comes from rootedness, not fear. Protection is spiritual self-respect. It's knowing who you are, where your energy ends, and what you allow to stay. Before we talk about guarding energy, we need to talk about strengthening it, because strong energy doesn't leak. It doesn't invite chaos. Strength looks like trust, like courage, like staying present in your body instead of floating just outside of it. So let's talk about herbs. Herbs for courage and inner strength. Let's start with a few quiet allies. Rosemary. This is an herb of remembrance and self-trust. It's wonderful for those moments when you doubt your intuition or second guess yourself. Then there's nettle. Often overlooked, nettle teaches resilience. It supports strength built through challenge, not avoidance. Then there's ginger. This one brings warmth, bravery, and forward motion. It's especially helpful if your spirituality feels stalled or a little bit timid. Also consider cinnamon. Cinnamon is spiritual fire. It is vitality. That spark that reminds you that you're alive and here on purpose. Of course, before ingesting any herbs, make sure those are right for you. But a simple practice is to brew a tea with intention, and as you stir, say quietly, I stand firmly in who I am. And let that be enough. Let's talk about protection as energetic hygiene. Protection doesn't need to be dramatic. Most of the times, it's just maintenance. Think of it like washing your hands after a long day, not because you're dirty, but because you've touched a lot of things. Here are some protective herbs to work with. Bay leaf. Bay leaf is a calm guardian. Bay doesn't panic, it holds. You can write something you're releasing on a bay leaf and then safely burn it, or keep one tucked in a journal or your wallet as a reminder that not everything gets access to you. Then there's rue, an old protector. Rue historically used to ward off unwanted influence and lingering attachments. Then, of course, my favorite, mugwort. This one is special. It protects while enhancing intuition. It doesn't dull your senses. It teaches discernment. And finally, let's talk about another favorite of mine, yarrow. Yarrow has long been used as a protector of warriors, travelers, and sensitives. Energetically, it strengthens boundaries without hardening the heart. This herb teaches where you end and the world begins. It's especially supportive for empaths and intuitives who feel too open or energetically porous. Yarrow protects by reinforcing the aura rather than sealing it shut, allowing connection but not intrusion. Use yarrow when you're feeling drained after being around others, or when you're learning to say no without guilt. Yarrow is a lovely companion for that. Use it when you want protection that doesn't dull intuition. One quiet affirmation to say when you're holding yarrow or dressing a candle with it or making a little special charmed satchel for yourself. You can hold it and say, I remain open, but I am not unguarded. Let's shift from herb work to crystals that empower and not just shield. I want to talk about protection that doesn't dim your light. Work with obsidian. Obsidian is about truth and protection. This one does not lie to you. It cuts through illusions externally and internally. Then there's smoky quartz, which grounds fear and anxiety into something more usable, energy that you can work with a little bit better. Excellent if you tend to absorb emotional energy. Grab that smoky quartz. Then there's tiger's eye for courage, confidence, and boundaries, a favorite for people learning to say no energetically and otherwise. Then there's labradorite, a must for intuitives. It protects the aura while keeping you open and curious. And finally, there's hematite. It's heavy, it's anchoring, it's stabilizing. Perfect if you feel scattered or ungrounded after spiritual work or just dealing with the world. So again, protection doesn't mean hiding your light. It means containing it, supporting it, fortifying it. And with that, let's talk about some small daily rituals. You don't need a full ceremony every time to protect your energy. Here are a few quiet practices that actually stick. Place a hand on your heart and check in with yourself before leaving your house. Rinse your hands with salt water after intense conversations. And at night, imagine your energy gently folding inwards, like petals closing at dusk. No force, no fear, just intention. And a mantra you can carry with you is, my energy is sovereign. I decide what I carry. So this next part really matters. Being spiritual does not mean being endlessly available. Compassion does not require access all the time. Sensitivity is not a guaranteed invitation in. So whether you're intuitive, empathic, or exploring mediumship, boundaries are protection. You are allowed to close. You are allowed to rest. You're allowed to say no, energetically and physically. You don't owe your energy to anyone, living or otherwise. In my mediumship work, I think about having office hours. And when it's on, it's on. And when it's off, the message is, please contact me during normal business hours. And of course, I'm talking about energetically with the spirit world. And certainly, I do not like to be woken up at night. I think sleep is sacred and important. So it's like, set those boundaries to fortify yourself, not out of fear, but out of necessity and knowing what you need. And when you feel vulnerable or shaky, take the time for some self-care. Ask yourself what it is you really need and what would make you feel more grounded, more stable and tethered. Make sure to check in with yourself every day, every afternoon, every evening, just a quick check-in. And if you do feel like you're run through or absorbing too much, don't see it as a sign of weakness. You have intuitive gifts. We just need to remember our maintenance. It's not that you did anything wrong or anything is flawed. It's just time for that me time, and it's time to recenter. And you don't have to create a 12-foot thick wall around yourself. It's more about strengthening that light within, not strengthening the walls. And again, don't be motivated by fear. Be motivated by your spirituality, your own intuition, your own energy. And connect with nature too. Nature really knows what it's doing and is often a great source to align with. Thank you so much for spending this powerful time with me in the Spirit Parlor this evening. If you're interested in a magical printable reminder of concepts we talked about tonight, I have an illustrated downloadable offering on my Patreon. Support the podcast and get all offerings like this for $1 a month. Just visit patreon.com/italktoghosts. Now, before we break the circle and part ways, let me say this. I'm here to support you and to remind you your spirituality is not fragile. It has weathered lifetimes. It remembers who you are even when you forget. Herbs and crystals and rituals don't create your power. They remind you where it already lives. So tend to your flame, strengthen your roots, and protect what is sacred. Not out of fear, but out of love. Until next time, you're always welcome here with me in the Spirit Parlor. Take care.
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.